everybody, welcome back. It's Mark with ExoticCar PlayPlace. Thanks for stopping in again. I know today you want to learn how to check the oil level on the E60 M5, and I'm going to show you here today roughly how to do that. Because as you know, and you've seen in some of my other videos, there's really no actual dipstick. I'll show you that here in a second, but I'm going to walk you through and show you how to operate the electronic dipstick in the E60 M5. Check it out. Let's go. So as we walk in here, and we'll take a look at the car, let's pop the hood to start with. So I'm going to lift the hood. As you can see, we're looking at the engine compartment here of the M5, and okay, I've got it charging, that's fine. Look around. Normally you would find, in most cars, you would find a dipstick in this area, somewhere in this region on one of the banks of, typically of the engine here. More often than not, you would find it on the passenger side. Well, this car doesn't have one. Take a look down there. All you see is engine, hoses, and other lots of expensive parts. But there is no dipstick. So I'm going to show you on the inside how this actually works. All right, let's get in the car. Slide on in. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Always love the moment where I get to sit inside this beautiful car. So, of course, the car's off right now. First of all, what you need to know, obviously, is that the car more or less has to be on. You have to be running. That's the first step. The sad part is, of course, there's no manual dipstick, so you have to use some patience. And I'm going to explain why it's so important because of that. And I've seen a lot of mistakes made because guys were not patient. You just have to follow the whole process and you'll be fine. So there's a couple of ways to do this. Now the first of all, you have to make sure the car is sitting on a flat surface. That's obvious. That's kind of the given. So before we even get started, if all else fails, refer to your owner's manual like this. This is going to give you everything you need in there. And I'm strictly referring to page 182, but I'm also giving you some of my personal insight that I've had over the ownership of this car. There's some little nuances, so I'm going to share that with you. So let's start with some of the basics. First, you want to make sure the car is on a level ground. You don't want it tilted, maybe sitting on a driveway. You want to make sure that it's on level ground. There's two measurements that you can do here. There's the long measurement, which is the default, which is done typically by the vehicle automatically, or you can initiate that by activating the BC button on the left-hand upper stalk. That is one way to initiate that, but you tap it once, and that's going to attempt to pull a reading and may take as long as 30 minutes. Now there's another way to do this, and it's the short method, and it's the quicker measurement. But this really means that what you have to do is you got to make sure that if you've been driving the car, you want to make sure you've been driving at least no less than 10 kilometers or about 6 miles uninterrupted driving. So basically steady driving, continuous driving. What that does is ensures the oil gets circulated, it gets warmed up properly, and then it gives you a much more accurate reading. After you've been driving for at least 10 kilometers, then you can activate the BC button. And I'll show you that here. Let's take a look at that. So the first long method is you activate this BC button. This is up on the left-hand side here. This is my left hand. You press it one time, that's going to give you the reading. That's going to give you, or at least initiate the reading. Now, for the short term or the quick reading, what you're going to do is you're going to press and hold that for at least 2 seconds. 1, 2, let go. That's going to initiate the reading. And of course, with that, you're going to get basically a little clock on the dashboard. So you're going to see a clock. When you see that rotating the clock, that means it's trying to calculate the actual level. So as you can see, the car's actually not running. It is turned on, and right now I'm looking at the last reading, which was 0.9 liters above the minimum mark. And so by activating the BC button, toggle the BC button, and as you see, when you toggle the BC button, you get different things that you can look at. You have your fuel mileage, you have your oil level, and you have some other factors like temperature and, you know, the time and such. And of course the countdown for your fuel range. But let's go back, pressing the BC button. That takes us to this level here, which we're talking about, and the oil level. Now I'm going to press and hold that, 2 seconds. 1, 2, and now it resets it. Now, of course, because the car's not running, it's actually not doing an update. The car actually has to be running for this. I just strictly showed you how the process works. Now, there's another process in which you can do that. And of course, this process, what's going to happen is you're going to get that little indicator. You'll have the indicator for the clock that tells you it's calculating. And for the meantime, you have to wait that out. And of course, there is another feature, another operational way to access the oil level. So let's take a look at that too. So to do that, we're going to utilize the iDrive control. We're going to press that in because that's info sources. And now that we're in info sources, you can do all these settings again, as I mentioned before. You've seen in some of my other videos. Let's check info sources. Now we scroll down to service info. And once we're in there, you could check a few things. Status, let's go over there. And you can toggle over, hit engine oil. Now with that, you're going to press that again. And now, of course, there's no measurement. That's the process how you do it, but that's because the car is not running right now. That's why it's not showing anything. What we're going to do, I'm going to start the car and we're going to watch this go through in real time. Now, of course, the car's running. The oil level is showing minimum, but I'm going to press the BC button now. Hit that one more time. And hold it for 2 seconds. See, I'm holding it, but it's actually not working because the car needs you to be driving it for some period of time. Okay, so I think that about does that. So everybody, I hope that really helps you. Obviously, there's 3 ways to check it. Number 1 is you toggle the BC button once. That's going to give you the long 30-minute potential range setting check. Then there's the shortened version, which you toggle over to the BC till you have the range level on your dash, and you hold it for 2 seconds, and then it will initiate the prompt. It'll show you the little clock symbol, and then once it's done, it will give you the actual final number. And the third method is actually going to use the iDrive system, which will show you the actual level on the iDrive through the iDrive system as well. Now, of course, in summary, none of this will work until you've got some miles on the car, of course, and that you've been driving for at least 10 kilometers. So everybody, I hope that helps. If there's been any confusion, I know it's kind of the old days of, you know, the manual dipstick are going away and modern day BMWs are utilizing this system. It works, it's great, until it breaks, of course. So everybody, I hope you liked it. Make sure you give my channel a like, subscribe. Don't forget to turn on those notifications. That's going to let you know about the next video. So we'll talk to you real soon. It's Mark again, checking out with ExoticCar PlayPlace. Bye-bye.